You can start now, Nana.
Okay. Hari Om.
1 second, Nana. 1 minute. Let me just mute everyone and then you can start.
Okay.
Otherwise, that becomes an issue. Please unmute yourself and start.
Okay. ब्रह्मानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं चैव ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। अथ श्रीमद् भगवद गीता अथ अष्टमोऽध्यायः अक्षरब्रह्मयोगः। श्रीभगवानुवाच अक्षरं ब्रह्म परमं स्वभावोऽध्यात्ममुच्यते भूतभावोद्भवकरः विसर्गकर्म संगितः। That was the third verse. Yeah, third verse. अधिभूतं क्षरो भावः पुरुषश्चाधिदैवतम् अधियज्ञोऽहमेवात्र देहे देहभृतां वरा अन्तकाले च मामेव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यप्रयाति समद्भावं याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः। यं यं वापि स्मरन् भावं त्यजत्यन्ते कलेवरं तं तमेवैति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भावभावितः। तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु मामनुस्मरयुज्य च मय्यर्पितमनो बुद्धिः मामे वैष्यत्य संशयः। अभ्यासयोगयुक्तेन चेतसा नान्यगामिना परमं पुरुषं दिव्यं याति पार्थानुचिन्तयन्। कविं पुराणमनुशासितारम् अनोरणीयां च मनुस्मरेद्यः सर्वस्य दातारमचिन्त्य रूपम् आदित्यवर्णं तमसः परस्तात् प्रयाणकाले मनसाचलेन भक्त्या युक्तो योगबलेन चैव भ्रुवोर्मध्ये प्राणमावेश्य सम्यक् सतं परं पुरुषमुपैति दिव्यम्। यदक्षरं वेदविदो वदन्ति Vishanti yajyatayo vitaraga. No, yeah, correct. Vishanti vyajyatayo vitaraga. Yadichanto brahmacharyam charanti. Tatte padam sangrahena pravakshe. Sarvadvarani samyamya mano hrudi nirudhya cha murdhnyadhayatmana pranam astito yoga dharanam om ityekaksharam brahma vyaharan mamanusmaran yaprayati chajandeham sayati paramam gatim ananyacheta satatam यो मां स्मरति नित्यशः तस्याहं सुलभः पार्थ नित्ययुक्तस्य योगिनः मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतम् नेक्स्ट वर्स मामुपेत्य पुनर्जन्म दुःखालयमशाश्वतम् नाप्नुवन्ति महात्मानः संसिद्धिं परमां गताः आब्रह्म भुवनाल्लोकाः पुनरावर्तिनोऽर्जुन मामुपेत्य तु कौन्तेय पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते सहस्रयुगपर्यन्तम् अहर्यद्ब्रह्मणो विदुः रात्रिं युगसहस्रान्ताम् तेहोरात्रविदो जनाः अव्यक्ताद्व्यक्तयः सर्वाः प्रभवत्यः रागमे रात्यागमे प्रलीयन्ते तत्रैवाव्यक्तसंज्ञके भूतग्रामः स एवायं भूत्वा भूत्वा प्रलीयते रात्यागमे अवशः पार्थ प्रभवत्यः रागमे परस्तस्मात्तु भावोऽन्यः परस्तस्मास्तु भावोऽन्यः अव्यक्तोऽव्यक्तात् सनातनः यस्य सर्वेषु भूतेषु नश्यत्सु न विनश्यति. Please go back to verse number 9. Kavim Puranam Manushasitanam Anoraniyamsam Anusmarejyah Sarvasya Dataramachintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. Now from here, a number of verses which are meant for upasana, contemplation, and these are required to have an insight into the Hatha Yoga, Patanjali Yoga, the Ashtanga Yoga, etc. But we will run through all these things. Now, this is a beautiful verse. Kavim Puranam Manushasitaram Anoho Aniyamsam Anusmarejyaha Sarvasya Dataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Tamasa Parastat. Can you go to the word by word meanings, Brahmara? Kavim, the omniscient. Kavim, omniscient. The one who is all-knowing. Kavim is Krantadarshinaha. Kavi is also a poet. But poet, generally, he is expected to see much beyond our own perception. He has got that kind of a talent. That is why he is called Kavi. That Kavi, here it is omniscient, all-knowing. Puranam. Puranam is what? The most ancient. Pura api navayiti Puranam. Pura api, even though very ancient, nava, always new. Pura api navayiti Puranaha, the most ancient. Anushashitaram. Anushashitaram is the one who has all the Aishwarya, the sixfold superlative bhagas of Bhagavan. One of those is Aishwarya. Aishwarya is what? The one who ordains everything and who rules everything. Anushashitaram. He is the lawgiver and he is the protector of the laws also. One who rules everything. Anoho aniyamsam. He is subtler than the subtlest. Subtler than the subtlest means it is beyond our scope of imagination. Anoho aniyamsam anusmarejaha. Elsewhere in the Shastra it says, Mahato Mahiyan. He is bigger than the biggest. He is bigger than the biggest, smaller than the smallest. That means what? You people, you are looking for form and things like that. When you look for form, what does it mean? He is, because essentially formless, he is Mahato Mahiyan, Anoho Aniyamsam, Anusmarejaha, Anusmarejaha. Where is that? Yeah, Sarvasya Dhataram. Yeah, Sarvasya Dhataram. The one who ordains everything, okay? Ordains everything. Achintya Rupam, whose form cannot be conceived of. Aditya Varnam. Aditya Varnam, this is given perhaps for the sake of poetry and things like that. Because Bhagavan, who does not have any Varnam, what is his Varnam that is being given here? That is, he is not, he is highly effulgent. Swayam Prakasha Swarupaha. And with that Swayam Prakasha Swarupaha, he is the one who gives light even to the sun and moon. That we have seen in the 7th chapter, isn't it? Rasoham apsukaunteya prabhasmi sheshi suryayoho. Aham prabha asmi sheshi suryayoho. I am the brilliance in the luminous deities. Aditya Varnam, that is how it is, whose form is like the luster of the sun. Tamasaha parastat, the one who is beyond ignorance and knowledge. Yesterday we were covering this. This knowledge is what? This knowledge is our having acquired the worldly knowledge, the empirical knowledge, and he is even beyond that. And he is the one because of which any knowledge is cognizable. Tamasa parastat will include even that. The one who is beyond ignorance. That is indirectly what is being conveyed is the empirical knowledge that we have got, that we have gathered. It is all part of ignorance. Ignorance is with respect to what? Mama Swarupaha. Ignorance regarding Atma Swarupaha. As long as that is absent, all other knowledges are equivalent to ignorance only. And that he is beyond even that ignorance. The one who is beyond ignorance, Yaha Anusmaret, the one who contemplates upon. Anusmaret, we have covered this earlier. Anusmaret, Smaret means remembers. Anu means what? Shastra Ukta Prakarena. Shastra Ukta Prakarena Smaret. Okay? The one who contemplates upon Paramam Purusham Divyam Yahati. He attains to the limitless person who is effulgent and goes there. The one who contemplates, I'm reading the Tatparya, the one who contemplates upon the one who is omniscient. This one is what? Like you and I. That person, that Purusha, who contemplates upon the one who is omniscient. This contemplation is what? Nididhyasana. Because what is being conveyed here is what? Nididhyasana is what essentially, as against meditation, which is Saguna Brahma Dhyanaha. This is Nirguna Brahma Dhyanaha. Nirguna Brahma is being talked of here, who is omniscient, the most ancient, who rules. Anoho Aniyamsam, subtler than the subtlest, ordainer of all, whose form cannot be conceived of. Achintya Rupam, Aditya Varnam, Tamasaha Parastat. All these things are meant for contemplation. The one who contemplates upon that being who is omniscient, the most ancient, who rules, subtler than the subtlest, ordainer of all, whose form cannot be conceived of, who is effulgent like the sun, and who is beyond ignorance. That person goes to the limitless, self-effulgent person. This ordainer of all is very, very important. And whatever orders he gives, they are to be carried out. There is no question at all. In the Taittiriya Upanishad, there is one anuvaka, one lesson which says, Bhishasmad vatapavate, Bhisho udeti suryaha, Bhishasmad agnischendrasya, Mrutyudhavati panchamayate. The fifth fellow, Mrutyuho, Yamadharmaraja, Dhavati, he as though runs because of the order given by this Purusha. And who is this Purusha? Who is omniscient, who rules subtler than the subtlest, on orders everybody, and those orders will have to be carried out without any murmur. Bhishasmad vatapavate. Because of the fear of him, the vayu pavate, vatapavate. Bhisho udeti suryaha. Because of the fear of him, the sun rises. Udeti surya. Bhishasmad agnischendrascha. Agni is effulgent and hot because of the fear of him. And Indra will be working according to his diktat. And that is because of his fear. Mrityudhavati panchameti. That fifth fellow, Mrityu, also keeps on running to catch people who are ready to leave the world. Mrityudhavati panchamayati. So this ordainer of all has that import, whose form cannot be conceived of, who is effulgent, etc., goes to the limitless, self-effulgent person. And this verse and the next verse would better be kind of tatparya-wise clubbed together to understand the import of both the verses. Next verse, please. Yeah. Prayanakale manasa achalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva. This is what I was saying earlier. Yoga balena chaiva. With the yoga bala, strengthened with the yoga bala, that practice of yoga. Prayanakale manasa achalena bhaktya yukto yoga balena chaiva bhruvoho madhye. Bhruva is what? The eyebrows. Madhye. That is the place where we kind of have the tilak. Bhruvor madhye pranamavesha samyak satam param purusham upaiti divyam. That param purusham upaiti divyam was mentioned even in the Kavim Puranam. Paramam purusham upaiti chadyam. Satam param purusham upaiti divyam. Prayana kale. At the time of the departure. Achalena manasa. Prayana kale. Manasa achalena. Achalena manasa. Achalena manasa. With a steady mind. And the steady mind is obtainable through what? Meditation and contemplation. The steady mind cannot be obtained through mere karma yoga anushtanam eva. Karma yoga will give you the cleanliness of the mind. That clean mind can be chalam. That mind to be kind of arrested on the thought of the object of your contemplation, that is the steadiness that is obtained through contemplation, meditation, etc. Achalena manasa bhaktya yuktaha, endowed with extreme devotion. Bhaktya yuktaha. Devotion to who? Devotion to Sarvasya Dataram Achintya Rupam Aditya Varnam Kavim Puranam Anushasitaram. That earlier verse. That's why I said these two would better be taken together for Tatparya to understand the import of both the verses. Bhaktya Yuktaha, endowed with devotion, Yoga Balena Chaiva, and with the strength gathered by yoga. The strength is this has the yoga, that is the Hatha Yoga, maybe even the Ashtanga Yoga, that Bala has strengthened your approach to have the contemplation properly. And the strength gathered by yoga, Bhruvoho Majhe, between the eyebrows, Pranam Aveshya Samyak. This people, ordinary people like you and I, would wonder how to keep the pranam there. It comes perhaps because of abhyasa of Hatha Yoga and the Ashtanga Yoga, Patanjali Maharshi, Pranam Avesha Samyak. Saha Tam Param Purusham Upaiti Divyam. Can you please lift the, yeah, Mupaiti Divyam. Upaiti Divyam. Tam Param, that limited affiliate person, which was said even earlier, Upaiti Divyam, at the time of death, with a steady mind, endowed with devotion and the strength gathered by yoga, indeed, placing the breath properly. Can you please leave this again for that? Between the brows, it reaches that limitless effulgent person. He reaches, not it, he reaches that limitless effulgent person. Important thing to understand here is, and with it, strength gathered by yoga. Without this, it perhaps becomes very, very difficult for ordinary people like me to keep this pranam avesha samyak bhruvor majje. It requires a constant practice and it requires some subtle nature of understanding of the intricacies of that particular yoga. So Edaksharam, so this is to be understood. This verse and the earlier verse read together. Edaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti Vishanti Yajatayo Vitaragaha Edichanto Brahmacharyam Charanti Tatte Padam Sangrahena Pravakshye. I'm going to unfold to you. Sangrahena. Sangrahena means Sankshiptena. Okay, Sangrahena Pravakshye. Okay, in a nutshell, I'm going to unfold. Edaksharam Veda Vidaha Vadanti. The people who are knowers of Veda. Edaksharam. What Aksharam is what? Aksharam Brahma Paramam was mentioned by Bhagavan in the third verse.
That which
Aksharam
does
Brahma
not,
Paramam. Huh?
that which does not get exhausted, inexhaustible.
Pardon?
That which is inexhaustible.
Correct. Yeah, that which is inexhaustible, avyayam. Edaksharam Veda Vido Vadanti. The Veda Vidaha, they keep on talking of that. Vishanti Yajjatayo Vitaragaha. People who are great practitioners of this kind of Brahma Vidya, Vitaragaha. Yajjatayaha. Yatayaha means people who make an effort. Yatayaha. Yatayaha. That which people who put in a lot of effort. Yatayaha. Vitaragaha. Vishanti. Vishanti means enter. Vishanti means enter means by knowledge enter. Edichantaha. Desiring which. brahmacharyam charanti. Okay, desiring which? Brahmacharyam charanti. And they will conform to the strict disciplines of brahmacharya and a study of the Veda and pravachana of the Veda. Follow a life of study and discipline. Tat padam, that end, that padam is, it's not to be considered as the word. That padam is that the goal to be reached. Tat padam sangrahena. Briefly, te pravakshe. I'm going to unfold to you. I will tell you briefly about that end, which does not decline, about which knowers of Veda talk about, which the renunciates free from desire enter. Yad yatayaha vitarago vishanti. Okay, desiring which they enter, which they follow a life of study and discipline. For that kind of a thing to be successful, Yadyatayaha Vetarago Vishanti. That Vishanti for entry in like manner, important thing is they follow a life of discipline. Brahmacharyam charanti. These are the means for attaining that. I will tell you briefly, etc. Bhagavan has given the principles of yoga, that with yoga also this is obtainable. This is how it is. Okay, you will have to make hard practice. It's not easily obtainable. Whereas, yeah, next. Yeah, Sarvadvarani. Again, these two together. These two are to be together. Sarvadvarani samyamya. What are that? What are the dwaras? The sense organs, the mind, the antakarana. Sarvadvarani samyamya, mastering, keeping all those things under your control. Mano hrudi nirujhacha, keeping the mind in the hrudi. Hrudi means the intellect. Nirujhacha. See, sarvadvarani samyamya, mano hrudi nirujhacha. Murdhniyad atmana pranam. Murdhniyat means in the center of the skull. Murdhniyat atmanaha. Atmanaha means one's own. Pranam. Astitaha. Keeping it there. Yogadharanam. Om iti ekaksharam brahma. Om iti ekaksharam brahma. Vyaharan. Vyaharan means saying Om, and not simply limited to that. Mam anusmaran, mam shastra vihita prakarena smaran, mam anusmaran, yaprayati, whoever departs, chajandeham, after giving up this body, sayati paramam gatim. That person attains to the paramam gatim, right? See the pratipadarthas. Sarvadvarani, all the gates, the sense organs. Samyamya, closing. Okay. Manaha, the mind. Hrudi, into the heart. The heart is what? Not the pumping heart. It is the faculty of determination. Hrudi nirujhacha. Nirujhacha means withdrawing. Okay, manaha is placed in the heart. Hrudi nirujhacha. Like in the 6th chapter, what was said? Atma samstam manakrutva. Atma samstam manakrutva. Keep the mind in the thought of Atma all the time. Here, the manaha, hrudi nirujhacha, atmanaha pranam, one's own prana, murdhni, at the top of the head. Adhaya, placing. Yoga dharanam astitaha. Yoga dharanam astitaha. The one who is committed to yoga, being the one who remains holding his prana by yoga. Om iti ekaksharam. Om iti ekaksharam. This ekaksharam is Om, will come in the 10th chapter again. Okay? Om iti ekaksharam Brahma Vyaharan. That single syllable Om Vyaharan, chanting. Mam Anusmaran, remembering me, not simply remembering me. Shastra Prakarena Anusmaran. And what did the Shastram say? Kavim Purana Manusha Sitaram Anoraniyam Samanusmaredyaha. Like that. Okay? In the Atma Bodha, there is a beautiful verse. It starts with the Na and ends with the Na. I forgot that verse. Beautiful, beautiful verse. And that kind of a chintana is required for reaching the desired end. Mam Anusmaran. Deham Chajan, giving up the body. Yaha Prayati, whoever departs. Sa Paramam Gatim Yati. It goes to the Paramam Gatim. Yeah. Can you please lift this up? As I keep on reading, you kindly goes to the most exalted end, closing all the sense organs and withdrawing the mind into the heart, placing his breath at the top of his head and remaining holding his breath by yoga. This is important. This is what I was saying. All these are possible by a very committed practice of yoga, and that requires, I think, a proper teacher. All should not be doing this because it could end up in some kind of health problems. So it would be a cautious approach. Chanting the single syllable Om, which is Brahman, giving up the body, the one who departs, remembering me, goes to the most exalted end. Sataparam Purusham Upaiti Divyam. Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Pardha Nitya Yuktasya Yogina. Can you lift this, please? Ananya Cheta Satatam Yomam Smarati Nityashaha Tasyaham Sulabha Pardha Nitya Yuktasya Yoginaha. On the other hand, compared to all these very difficult endeavors, Ananya Chetaha Satatam. Chetaha means the faculty of the mind, the thinking. Ananya Chetaha, the thought which is na anyaha, always centered on me, always thinking of me. And me is what? Shastra Vihita Prakarena, Mam Anusmaran, Ananya Chetaha Satatam, always. Yo, whoever, Mam, me, Smarati Nityashaha. They see there is a double emphasis here. Satatam is always. Nityashaha means always. Always, always. That means what? Nityashaha, here the meaning given is for a length of time. For a length of time. Satatam yomam smarati nityashaha. Tasya aham sulabham pardha nityayuktasya yoginaha. The import of this satatam and nityashaha, satatam is always. No matter what kind of activity you are in, always have in the backdrop, like Prem was saying yesterday, that tanbura, that that must be available to you all the time. Ananya Cheta Satatam Mam Anusmara Nityashaha. That Mam Anusmara must be like the tambura, beauty sound. Satatam yo mam smarati nityasha tasyaham sulabha padha nityayuktasya yoginaha. Tasya, for that person, aham sulabha, I am easily obtainable. He Partha, nityayuktasya yoginaha. That fellow is always nityayuktasya, always united with me. Aham sulabha. That kind of a person. Partha, the one who has a mind that sees no other, who remembers me constantly for a length of time. For that yogi who is always united with me, I am easily gained. See how easy this is compared to the earlier ones. Bhruvor madhye pranamaveshya samyak. We don't know how to keep that unless we get into that kind of a practice. And murdhnyad atmana pranam astita yoga dharanam. That also is a technique. So we do not have those techniques. As against that, this is a much simpler, easier method. Hey Partha, tasyaham sulabha Partha, nityayuktasya yoginaha, ananya chetas satatam, yomam smarati nityashaha. One who has a mind that sees no other. This is important. This is called the kind of a devotion to a chosen object or a chosen principle. The principle is what? Bhagavan is the principle. And what kind of a principle is that? Kavim, Puranam, Anushasitaram, Anoho Aniyamsam, Anusmarejyaha, Sarvasya Dhataram, Achintya Rupam, and that Achintya Rupam Aham Chintayami. That is the crux of the problem. That is possible when the mind sees no other and it is with you all the time. Avyabhicharini nishtaha, avyabhicharini bhaktihi. The nishta, the commitment, non-wavering all the time. The bhakti, non-wavering all the time. Avyabhicharini bhaktihi, avyabhicharini nishtaha. Sees no other, who remembers me constantly for a length of time. For that yogi who is always united with me, I am easily gained. Yes, please.
Can we say a person who lives in the present moment throughout is someone like this who keeps him in his mind throughout, in the backdrop?
The one who lives in the present throughout, maybe it depends on the activity that you have undertaken. Supposing you are a surgeon, suppose, and when you are doing surgery, you have to live in the present. When you are living in the present, well, you are doing your swadharma very nicely, beautiful. But that is a different sphere of activity that has got concentration, commitment, and shraddha in respect of saving the patient on whom you are undertaking a surgical invasive procedure. That I wonder whether we can simplify that. That is different. That requires an extreme concentration, certainly. But the concentration is on the patient's anatomy. It is not on Mam Anusmara, constantly for a length of time, whoever thinks of me all the time. No, that's not there. Living in the present is required for everybody. But here, living in the present and the life must be dedicated to the thought of the Mayavi. Who is Mayavi? Ketaya is the Mayavi. Why is he Mayavi? Because he has projected the Jagat, which is not. And he will withdraw the Jagat whenever he pleases. that he is going to cover in the next couple of verses. Constantly for a length of time, for that yogi who is always identical with me, I am easily gained. When I said Mayavi, I had in mind those magicians. They create as though a make-believe world for you to see and appreciate. And the Mayavi is not deluded by what he has created. That Maya, Janita, world he has created, and whose Jagat you have succumbed to, and you keep on appreciating that. Like the Mayavi, what he does, I believe, he creates a pole, huge, tall pole, and the end of which you don't know. The end of which you don't know. And he will have some being go up the pole. That kind of a thing. There is no pole, there is no being, and whenever he wishes, he will make a trick which will make the pole and the being vanish. That is the trick of the Mayavi, the magician. Me constantly for a length of time, for that yogi who is always united with me, I am easily gained. Yeah, living in the present is a very useful requirement even for Vedanta. Even for Vedanta, living in the present, like we are all in the Zoom class. We are all living in the present. We are living in the essence of what is being taught by Bhagavan Krishna. And that is very important. Right. Next. Yeah. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmanaha samsiddhim paramam gataha. Mamupetya, those people who have attained to me. Mamupetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Punarjanma is ashashvatam and dukkhalayam. It is a temple of sorrow. Alayam is what? Temple. Dukkhalayam, temple of sorrow. What is the temple of sorrow? Janma. The Janma is a temple of sorrow. Whereas people who have attained to me, Mamupecha, Punaha Janma, Dukkha Alayam, Ashashvatam, Napnuvanti, they will not attain to that. Napnuvanti Mahatmanaha. Samsiddhim paramam gataha. As you keep on reading, you will as though understand. Though you may not be able to give the word by word meanings, you get the essence of this. That is the beauty of the Sanskrit verses as we keep on reading them. It has got, the verse has got an act of revealing itself to you. But provided we must not underplay the importance of these pratipadarthas for some chapters, for at least half a dozen chapters very strictly. And if you can do it up to the 11th verse, 11th chapter, it will be beautiful. Later on, it will be like driving on a wonderful road when you are going from, say, the 12th chapter onwards. It'll be beautiful. You will understand what you are reading. You may not have the capacity to explain what you understood, but you understood that is good enough. That's what Arjuna has understood. As Bhagavan was saying, Arjuna understood. And whenever he did not understand, and whenever he thought there's a kind of a clash, there's a kind of a confusion, that he experienced, he immediately asked a question. It is enough if we keep ourselves in the shoes of Arjuna and listen to Bhagavan all the time. Beautiful. And as you keep on keep on chanting the Gita slokas. A time will come when you will like to get into not Arjuna's shoes, maybe Bhagavan's shoes. You as though you are telling Arjuna, hey Arjuna, Mamupechatu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. Mamupechatu Kaunteya Punarjanmana Vidyate. And what kind of a Punarjanma is that? Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Mahatmanaha, the wise men. Their Atma means the mind. Mahan Manaha, Mahatmanaha, Mahan Manaha, wise people. Upechya, having reached me, Dukkha Alayam, the abode of misery, temple of sorrow, Dukkha Alayam, Ashashvatam. Ashashvatam is, it is not Avinashanam, it is Vinashanam, and it is finite. Punarjanma, another birth. Na apnuvanti, they do not gain. Paramam samsiddhim, the ultimate success, gataha, they have gained. Whatever they have gained, then that will ensure there is no punarjanma for them. Having reached me, the wise men do not gain another birth, which is the abode of misery and is finite. They have reached the ultimate success. Here, one thing to be understood very, very clearly. This reached me is what? By jnanena. Jnanena, they have appreciated that they are Atma Swarupa, and Atma is nothing other than I. Between Atma and I, there is no difference. I am indeed Atma. In the 10th chapter, Bhagavan is going to say that. Bhagavan is going to say, I am Atma. I am Atma, he is going to say. Then with that knowledge, born out of the appreciation that you are indeed Parameshwara, with that reach me. Hey, where is that? Hey, we have gone to, here, correct. Having reached me, that reaching is what? It is knowledge appreciation. It is by knowledge. That knowledge has made that person indeed me. That reaching me is that. The wise men do not gain another birth. Why is it that they do not gain another birth? Why they can't? The wise people, why don't they gain another birth? For you to gain another birth, what is required is ignorance, is it not? Ignorance is required for you to have another body.
They attain the knowledge. Yeah.
Huh?
They attain the knowledge, so they don't need.
Correct. Okay. So they have knocked off the ignorance because of the knowledge that they have gained. Atma Jnana Sampurnaha. Okay. Those people, they have knocked off the ignorance totally. When the ignorance is gone, that is, your causal body is gone. The Karana Shariram is annihilated. When it is gone, where is the question of another body for you? After death, for you to go to some other loka and enjoy there and come back and be born again here, you require some kind of a body. It is not the Stula Shariram that you will take. It perhaps is not even the Sukshma Shariram, but it is some Shariram suitable for traverse to the other world. Okay? And that Shariram will have the essence of the Sukshma Shariram, because you have to be what you are. Your samskaras, etc., all those things will have to be with you all the time when you take another janma. So that kind of a body is absent because of lack of ignorance. That is how they will not attain to another birth, which is the abode of misery, and this Punarjanma is finite and misery-ridden. they have reached the ultimate success. Now, Abrahma Bhuvanalokaha Punaravartino Arjuna Mamupechatu Kaunteya Punarjanman Avidyate. Abrahma Bhuvanalokaha, the Lokaha, all those places. Bhuvana means the lokas, okay? Abrahma Bhuvanalokaha up to Brahmaji. Brahmaji is the creator Brahma. Arjuna, Brahma Bhuvana Lokaha, all the worlds where beings exist up to the world of Brahmaji. Okay? This Lokaha has the connotation of people, I think. Brahma Bhuvana is the actual Lokaha. This Lokaha has the people. Brahma Bhuvana Lokaha. Punaha avartinaha. Punaha, again. Avartinaha, returning. Like a tennis ball. You bounce it, it goes up, comes down. You bounce it again, it comes down again. Brahma Bhuvana Lokaha. Punaha avartinaha. Punaha avartinaha, Arjuna. Whereas, Mam Upecha, people who have obtained me, who have known me by jnanena. Okay, Kaunteya, Punarjanma na vidyate. There is no Punarjanma, like we have covered in the explanation. The ignorance is knocked off. When that is gone, your Karana Shariram is gone. When the Karana Shariram is gone, the Karana for Janma is annihilated. And there is no Punarjanma for you. Arjuna, sorry, all the worlds where beings exist up to the world of Brahmaji are of the nature of those from which one will return. However, reaching me, O son of Kunti, there is no rebirth. I requested Brahmara to please keep one paper ready, that is for this verse, the 17th verse. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahaha Yat Brahmano Viduhu Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. You go through the word by word meanings very meticulously. Ahaha means the daytime. Ratri means the night time. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. Yuga is what? Yuga is what? Like Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, then Satya Yuga. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. Here, what is mentioned is that Yuga Paryantam, up to the limit, Sahasra Yuga, 1000 yugas Paryantam. It is a span of 1000 yugas. And the yuga is not limited to any one of those 4 yugas. It is all of them put together. That is called a Mahayuga. Sahasra Mahayuga was not mentioned because for Vyasa Bhagavan there is no place to include all those chandas wise. Sahasra Mahayuga Padyantam Ahaha Yat, whatever day is there. Brahmanaha Viduhu. Brahmanaha Viduhu. Brahmanaha, what does it say here? People who know Brahmanaha. Yat Brahmanaha, that which is the day of Brahmaji. Sahasra Yuga Padyantam Yat Brahmanaha Viduhu. That is the day of Brahmaji. Day of Brahmaji Viduhu. Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam Teho Ratra Vido Janaha. That the night time also is equivalent to Ratrim Yuga Sahasrantam. Yuga Sahasrantam means here it is mentioned Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. Here Yuga Sahasrantam, both are same. This also 1000 Mahayugas span the Ratri of Brahmaji and the daytime of Brahmaji is 1000 Mahayugas span. We will see what is that Mahayuga and what is how big is that. Maybe we will have time tomorrow for that. We will cover that. We will start with that. Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahaha Yat Brahmano Viduho. Ahaha Brahmanaha. Brahmanaha Aha. That is the daytime of Brahmaji. Our daytime is what? Our daytime is 12 hours, isn't it? Our night time is another 12 hours. Brahmaji's daytime is Sahasra Yuga Paryantam. And Yuga is Mahayuga. Kali Yuga plus Dwapara Yuga plus the other two yugas. Treta Yuga and Satya Yuga. Satya Yuga is also called what? Kruta Yuga. Right? All these four put together with their twilight periods. The twilight means what? Between Satya Yuga, when it is about to end, and Treta Yuga about to begin, there is a kind of transfer between the yugas. It's like the sun, Arunenaiva Bodhena Purvam Santamase. Is it not? When before the sun has appeared in the eastern horizon, you have the effulgence in the form of the orange light, is it not? Arunenaiva Bodha, like that. That requires a time, and the time is called the twilight. Twilight between Kruta Yuga and Treta Yuga. Between Treta Yuga and Dwapara Yuga, and such like with the other two yugas. And this twilight has a period of, I believe, some percentage of the total yuga span. If the span of such a yuga is X million years, the twilight is considered to be 0.2 X million years, 20%. So that continues with the rest. And this Mahayuga has the span of all the spans of the four yugas combined together with their twilight periods. And that's going to be huge. That's going to be huge. And when we do sankalpa, whenever we do any puja, etc., what kind of a sankalpa we will do? Adya Brahmanaha, etc. Prior to this, we will say so many things. Adya Brahmanaha. Then Shvetavaraha Kalpe, Kali Yuge, Pradhamapade. Before that, Shvetavaraha Kalpe, Vaivasvata Manvantare. This Vaivasvata Manvantara, incidentally, this Sahasra Yuga Paryantam Ahaha. Ahaha means the daytime. That is divided into a number of manvantaras. Manvantara is what? A kind of an officer nominated by Bhagavan to rule the world. And we are now in the Vaivasvata Manvantara. Vaivasvata is what? Vivaswan. Vivaswan is who? Sun. Vaivasvata Manvantare. The Manvantara which is from the Vivaswan. Vaivasvata means Manuhu. Manuhu is what? In the 4th chapter, what did Bhagavan say? Imam Vivasvate Yogam Praktavan Aham Abhyayam. Vivaswan Manave Praha. That Vivaswan has taught that Manu. We are in that Manu's Manvantaram. And in that Manvantaram, that spans nearly about 310 million years, I believe. Huge. It is so huge. People say that Ramayana also happened in this Vaivasvata Manvantara, because there have been slokas in the Ramayana which mention this. And here Bhagavan is saying, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavanaham avyayam vivasvan manave praha, etc. We will cover this tomorrow, when I would request Brahmaraj to project that piece of paper, which will give us some insight into the expansive periods of time regarding Brahmaji. Right? Any questions you people may have? First thing, tomorrow, after we chant the requisite number of verses, we will go through the questions and deal with them. Right? Hari Om. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina. Sarve Santu Niramayah. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kasched Dukkha Bhag Bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om.
Hari Om, everybody.
Dhanyavad.
Hari Om.
Dhanyavad, Nanaji.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Hari Om. Yeah.